Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Building Dr. Frinks Flying Machines. So in this episode we are looking at getting the station built, so like the area where people get on and off the ride, as you can see in the time lapse at the moment. We're just getting started on it. So the station is actually inspired by like a real station, and I'd be interested to know if you can guess what the station is like inspired by, because it's quite similar to a real station design out there in the world. And I'm pretty sure if you know the ride you'll probably be able to guess it, so I'll be interested to see if you can. But yeah, so literally in this episode we're just going to build the station, add some like details and stuff into the station, you know, like the operators area, like, you know, the control cabin, just some like theming details, just some, you know, just like general station details, really, to make it look like as realistic as possible, really. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll be back. Well, actually, I'll be back in a minute to talk something theme park related, and I'll also be back at the end of the episode to talk a little bit more about what we got built. So thank you very much, and I'll see you very soon. Okay everyone, so in this episode I wanted to talk about a trip I took to Blackpool Pleasure Beach for the first time in August of 2018, so almost a year ago. It's the first time I've ever been to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We drove up there for I think like 3 days. We were going to spend one day at the park and just 2 days like in Blackpool, just sort of seeing it and stuff. I'm a big fan of like seaside towns like that. I know a lot of people think like they're like a little bit like tacky and stuff, but I just sort of enjoy that aesthetic of a seaside town. So I was quite excited to go to Blackpool. I'd never been before. I'd never really had the chance to go. My family were never interested in going. None of my friends were really interested in going. So yeah, when I met Hannah, she said she'd go with me. So that was like my golden opportunity to finally get to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And I guess Icon as well was a big draw. I'd heard a lot about the rides at Blackpool, and I've always heard it's like quite just like a unique place to be, and like a theme park that you should definitely go to, even if the rides aren't amazing there. But then obviously with the addition of Icon, I'd never been on like a Mack launch coaster before, so it was like the perfect sort of chance. Everything just sort of came together to go. So yeah, I got the chance to go. Like I said, I'd never been before. I'd heard lots about like things like the Big One, Infusion, the Woodies, like Grand National, Big Dipper, the Nickelodeon Streak. I'd heard lots of stuff. Like mostly that the rides were rough. They weren't like the most amazing rides ever, but they're still like just a sight to see all the rides just so like cramped in and together, like, you know, just everything in such a small footprint where they're just building ride upon like on top of rides. The sort of style that I really like. I like that sort of style. I just think it's very clever and very just interesting to see. So yeah, in terms of the actual trip, I can't recall like the exact way the day panned out, because obviously it was over a year ago now. But I just wanted to talk about like individual rides that I can remember going on and that I really enjoyed. So first of all, there was obviously Icon, which was my favourite ride of the day by far. It was a really good day there though. Like, just because Icon was my favourite ride by far doesn't mean I didn't really enjoy everything else we did. But that ride was like really special in the sense that it just stood out. I don't know, a lot of people like don't like it because they think it's too slow and stuff, but I'd never really been on anything like it and that similar. I mean, I guess the closest thing you could compare it to is Cheetah Hunt, which I absolutely love. So I guess that's why I enjoyed it so much. I just love the fact that I could sort of re-ride it. I didn't get too sick on it. It was like very smooth. It was just sort of my sort of roller coaster really, and I just enjoyed like the second half was really good as well. I thought the launches were okay. I mean, they get a lot of stick for being too slow, but I didn't think they were too bad. I quite enjoyed the launches. Yeah, so Icon, like I've said before in a previous video, it's in my top 5. So yeah, it's a really good roller coaster, Icon. Really enjoyed that. And then other like standout roller coasters at the park are obviously the Big One. We went on that twice. That was interesting. I don't know. I hadn't hyped it up or anything in my mind. I wasn't expecting much from it, because I'd heard that it wasn't like, didn't give any airtime, and it was quite shaky. Our second ride on it was definitely better than our first ride. The first ride just didn't really do much. It seemed to be quite slow. The first drop was kind of painful really, but the second ride, I don't know. I sort of like learned that I just sort of knew what to expect for the first drop, so I sort of braced myself a little bit better for it. It just felt like it was running a little bit better. It was very shaky still, but it was still but it was still like just a really cool ride to actually finally get on and get to experience for myself and understand like why people say what they say about it, and like understand like the significance of it really. Yeah, so that was a really fun ride. Not amazing, just like sort of fun to get on and just sort of like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I quite enjoyed the Big One in the end. Moving on from that, other like sort of iconic rides at the park. One we missed actually was Valhalla. We didn't want to go on it in the morning. We were going to leave it till the end of the day because we didn't want to be soaking wet for the rest of the day. So we were going to like leave it for the end of the day, then go home and get changed and stuff. Unfortunately, it closed down for the last part of the day, so we didn't get to go on it, which was a bit of a shame because it was quite a hot day as well. So it would have been nice, but unfortunately missed out on that one. So I can't give you my review of that. But the other dark rides we got on were like Wallace and Gromit. We got on that. I really enjoyed that. I like Wallace and Gromit. The scenes were a little bit mismatched. Like there wasn't any sort of like coherent story to the ride. But just like going around it, and like the sort of roller coastery sections in that ride were kind of impressed me. It was like the way like it sort of seemed to go quite fast and stuff through some sections. I can imagine that as when it used to be the mine ride as well, it probably was really cool as well. I would like to have seen that, but yeah, I was actually quite impressed with Wallace and Gromit. I thought it was really good. And then obviously there was the Ghost Train as well, which is the other dark ride we went on. I can't remember much about it. I remember it being quite good though. I was quite impressed by that one. I just can't remember exactly like how it went, and so I can't remember any of the scenes and stuff. But I just remember coming off it feeling quite impressed by it. So, although saying that, if I can't remember much of it, it can't have been that amazing. But you know, it was still cool. And then in terms of other like non-roller coaster rides, I can't actually think of any others that we did that weren't roller coasters. But yeah, because we didn't go on like the Shot Tower, we didn't go on Skyforce, we didn't go on any of like the kiddie stuff in Nickelodeon Land. So yeah, I think in terms of non-roller coasters, I think that was it. So I think it was literally just Wallace and Gromit and the Ghost Train for non-roller coasters. And then obviously we went on the entire selection of roller coasters we could, other than the little Blue Flyer, the kiddie wooden coaster. So we went on Nick Streak, which was good. That was probably my favourite Woody. It was probably the smoothest of the lot. Probably gave the most air time. And then you obviously had Big Dipper and Grand National. Grand National was very rough. I only went on it once. Didn't go on both sides. So I guess you can only say I only got the one credit. I don't know. It depends how you count it. But yeah, so I only went on the one side. Quite a rough ride. I still thought it was quite fun though. I think it gets a lot of hate. I mean, maybe I just got a good ride on it, but I thought that was alright. I thought Grand National was alright. Big Dipper was very fun. I like that one. I like the way it was also. I like the way the station was set up and like how the ride was set up, like within the park, by the way it fit into everything. And it was just a good ride. I enjoyed Big Dipper. It was just slightly below Nickelodeon Streak in my opinion. And then obviously we went on Revolution as well. That was weird. The walk up to that platform was a bit crazy. I don't understand why they thought. I don't know. The design just seems a bit weird to me. Just with like the staircase up all the way to the top. I guess it's just a different generation, really, isn't it? Just nowadays, like you just wouldn't see a ride design like that, just because it's quite impractical for people to walk. Like a lot of people to walk up that high and stuff. But yeah, it was still a fun ride. I'd never been on anything like it. The loop was quite tight and intense, which was cool. I didn't really expect much from the launch, and I was quite like pleasantly surprised about how the launch was actually quite forceful. And then you get a lot of airtime coming off the drops, and the backward section was just quite cool as well. It didn't make me that sick because it was quite short, so it was quite nice as well. So yeah, I liked Revolution. I enjoyed that one. And then obviously Steeplechase as well. Didn't enjoy this ride. There was there's this bar along the back where you sit in, and there's like this little metal sort of nut on the bar, and it kept digging into my back. And the seat design, just isn't very comfy on that ride. And obviously the sort of banking and the turns and stuff is very janky. It's not very fluid. It sort of just like janks you to the side and then janks you to the other side. And obviously when you got two people on one horse as well, it's just not very comfy. Thumbs down for me for Steeplechase. I don't know if they like improved the seat design and stuff, then it probably would be a bit more enjoyable. But I mean, if they could somehow like replace that ride, which I don't think they will any time soon, but they could replace it, that would definitely be the thing they should look at replacing, in my opinion. Other roller coasters we went on were Infusion. That's the SLC they have. This was actually my first ever SLC. Never been on one before. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it was quite bumpy. There were areas where you did obviously bash your head about a bit, but I'm not a massive fan of inverts anyway, so I didn't really go into it expecting anything. I didn't really get much back. I just didn't think it was that bad. I just didn't think it was that rough, but it wasn't particularly enjoyable. I mean, it was alright. And I'm trying to think if there were any other roller coasters. I'm probably forgetting one, but off the top of my head, I can't think. So yeah, all the roller coasters we went on. In terms of the park itself, we got there like 11 o'clock in the morning, so we got there a little bit later, and we stayed till about 6 in the evening. I think it was open quite late because it was in the summer holidays that day. It wasn't very busy. We do have the access pass, so we didn't actually really have to queue for anything. But like Icons queue must have been about 20 minutes. The big one probably like half an hour, from what I could see, from what was like being said. But yeah, but like obviously, like I said, queues didn't really affect us, but so we could get a lot done. We got on Icon 4 times, we got on the big one twice, we got on all the other roller coasters apart from the little kiddie one, and then we got on like obviously Wallace and Gromit and the Ghost Train. And I feel like there's something I'm missing out. I just can't think on the top of my head what it was. We didn't do like Alice in Wonderland. We didn't do the train ride. So really, we did miss out on quite a bit. But that's always like a reason to go back and just like experience some of the other things. And then in terms of food and stuff, we didn't eat inside the park. We went to the Weatherspoons next door, which is really good. I really like that Weatherspoons. It's just like quite a cool setting for one. And like just the park itself, when we went, it seemed quite tidy. It seemed like, because obviously Icon was brand new, so all that area was quite fresh. And it was just like I just felt like I just liked being in that park, because there's like all the roller coasters just everywhere. Everywhere you look, there was like a roller coaster or there was something going on, and that's just like the aesthetic I like. I just love that sort of style when it comes to theme parks. So yeah, that was it really. That was my trip to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. A really good day out. A really great park. Probably my favourite park in England. I think it ranks just above Alton Towers for me. My list in England is probably Blackpool first, Alton Towers second, then probably Chesington World of Adventures, and then Thorpe Park fourth. Thorpe Park has really gone down in my books, but that's probably that's probably a video for another day. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll be back in just a second to talk about what we got done in this episode. Okay, so let's go in and take a look at what we got done in this episode. So obviously we did the station area for the roller coaster. You can see the sort of style I was going for, like the industrial sort of inside like a warehouse, factory, whatever style. Just like details of just like piping and wires and things, just sort of bring that sort of style alive really. I'm not sure about these neon lights on the side. I might just turn them back to brick because I don't know if they work that well. Also, like, there's a lot of light coming into the building. There shouldn't be this much light in the building, and I think that's just because this area is opened up. So I need to close. Obviously, this whole brake running area is going to be inside in like a dark building. So that shouldn't, the station building shouldn't be so light when it is all like sort of done, when the ride's all complete and stuff. But yeah, so let's just go through like some of the details inside here. So there's like a locker thing here to like store your bags and stuff. I might change that to like an actual bag room. The idea being that maybe like you get like given a wristband and that just scans the locker from one side so you can put all your stuff in, and then on the other side you just take your, like, you get your wristband, you scan it at the locker and you take it out the other side or something like that. Just something like really efficient and just like requires like not that much staffing, and it's just easy to run, I guess. But again, a bag room is probably might be the easier way to go, might be more realistic, but you know, I don't know, we might just keep them there, we'll see. It's like whether there's like enough space really there for the bag room, but I guess it does like its job for now. And then moving on from that, we obviously have the loading area, like the air gates, which actually open and close. Yeah, they've been animated to open and close, so when the train comes in, the air gates open, and then when the train leaves, the air gates close. Yeah, so that's all of that really. I could probably put like some signs and stuff in this area to say like what number row you're in and stuff. And obviously we have the extended queue for the front row of the ride. Oh, sorry, we're just standing on top of the gate there. So yeah, you know, you have to queue a little bit extra for the front row. I haven't actually assigned the cameras for the trains yet, so I need to put some cameras on the train so I can actually ride this thing. So I'm not actually ridden it since I started adding all the scenery and all the trains and stuff. The trains look a little bit weird in the station. It's because I can't dim them. You can't, like, all the stations and the objects have been dimmed, but I can't unfortunately dim the trains. As far as I'm aware, I'm not sure how to have the trains just dimmed in the station area and the inside areas, and then have them undimmed on the outside. And because the ride spends the majority of its time in the outside, I'd rather have them undimmed, if that makes sense. So like when you go onto like a scenery object, you can choose to dim it so it looks like it's dark. I can't do that with the trains, unfortunately, so they look a little bit weird when they're in the station, but I don't think it's too bad. I need to sort out the colours as well on them, because they just look a bit weird in terms of the colouring and stuff, so that could probably do with some editing as well. Moving on from that, we've got some more details. We've just got like these control panels for the attendants on the ride. These just advance the train, like, so when all the checks have been done, both attendants would go to these sections here and here. Oh, sorry, 1 second, let me just get into it properly. Oh, sorry, the camera's going a little bit weird on me. Here we go. So yeah, like the attendant would sit here, push the green button with his thumb up to the operator inside that little cabin over there, and the train would go. And then obviously you got the same on the other side as well, just where an attendant would stand here once he's done all his checks, push the green button, and that would like sync up with the operator's panel and allow the train to advance into the next section. And there's obviously like an e-stop on there as well, in case there's like an emergency for the train to need to be suddenly stopped. And then in the operator's panel, in the operator's control cabin, we don't really have much. We just have some like electricity lockers where like some of the ride's controls would be, and like a door into the drop track area where like maintenance would go and stuff. I did have an operator's panel, but I want to do that properly, so I'm going to redesign the operator's panel. And obviously there's just like a glass window, and so the operator can just sit up here and look across the whole of the station and operate the ride and stuff like that. So that's all done. And then this here is just like an emergency exit, or like this would probably be like an emergency exit. And then I need to add like a lift as well for like disabled access in this area here. So like disabled people would probably just get loaded onto the train in this section and then advance along to this part. And then this is the exit obviously as well. So not really much going on here, just a exit into like a stairway which I built. So the stairway just goes down obviously, and then it's just going to lead out like a corridor. Maybe with some theming, I'm not too sure yet, but the corridor will just lead here. The entrance to the ride will be around here. All the queue line will be inside and themed and stuff. Will just make its way along here under here. And then obviously coming through this area here into the station area, which is all going to come along in the next couple of episodes. In terms of other things I need to add, obviously I keep talking about it, but I need to add track details in terms of brakes and LSMs and motors and things like that. Like I said, I need to add the queue line. I need to add some details around the mid-course brake run. I was going to theme it, but I might not now. I might just add like a staircase and stuff. And yeah, that's sort of it really in terms of things like, I need to like sort of obviously finish off the pathway and stuff. But in terms of getting stuff done, we are getting there. Like things are coming like to a completion. I reckon we're about 3 or 4 episodes away from finishing this thing. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy. Oh, another thing, obviously the station building from the outside still looks awful. It's not done, it's not themed. It's just like a placeholder, just holding all the stuff inside it at the moment. There'll be something over the top of it to make it look better. But yeah, that's sort of it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back as soon as I can with another episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon.